Hello, everybody. Welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at an app called CV Quincer. That's really hard to say. That is CV Quincer, which is a four-channel MIDI controller. But what's nice about this is it has CV MIDI out as well. Now, I don't have any CV gear, so it doesn't really matter to me. But for people that do, let me just get on my stream so I can see who's here. For people that do, this could be very handy, you know, for your little synthesizers and things like that. So could be pretty cool. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do. We're going to have this. I'm going to show you how hi Stephen, hi Hozza. I'm going to show you guys how to set this up with external synth. Now, we're dead fortunate, really, because the Korg Radius has 4 channels. And then this is a 4-channel sequencer, and then we'll set it up with BS16 so you can see how you can set it up with the iPad and both at the same time. So yes. So let me quickly explain. Well, I'll quickly play a little sequence, and this is it now playing the Radius. So I'm going to show you how to set all this up from scratch, so it's dead easy how to set up with the iPad, etc., etc. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to a new blank patches. So we go along to our files, a little files block here, and open that, and create a new sequence like this, and then let's go back to our 2 little notes here, and we'll see we've just got this now. Okay, so this is playing channel 1 on the Korg Radius. So I've got four sounds set up: T1, T2, T3, and T4. This is sound 1. That's me playing the actual Radius keyboard. This is channel 2. This is in 3, and this is in 4. So this is channel, you can see along the top there, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. And you'll notice that down there, there's this little forward pointing arrow. And if we look at channels 2, you'll see that that's stopped. That's why you're not hearing it. Channel 3 is stopped, and also channel 4 is stopped. So if I go back to channel 1, we go into our settings menu here with the little gear icon. You will see that 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, don't worry about all this, because this is like your control voltage settings. Okay, so you know, if you're going to use this as a CV, you would need a suitable audio interface as well to run this as CV. So you can change the channel, of course, by just tapping on it, and you can go to your 16 channels, etc., etc. So if you had some drums in the 4th one or something, you could have that set to channel 10. Excuse me. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Now you'll also notice that my output device is the Steinberg UR44. I don't need to put anything into it. I just need to output this information to the Steinberg, but you can go input and output as well. Okay, so at the back here, you have MIDI out going into MIDI in on the back of the Steinberg UR44 audio interface. Then you have MIDI in going to MIDI out on the Steinberg UR44 interface. So I'm using ordinary MIDI because I'm also using the iPad, the Steinberg's audio interface with the USB. This is neither here nor there. Hi, Peter, and Harriet, and Andrea. Hi, Andrea. So that's our basic settings. Now, it also has an internal synth. So if I turn off I'll just turn the volume down on the master volume on the Radius and press play. I can turn this one up. Like that. We've got a few sounds to choose from. Now, like I said, even if I turn these up now, you're not going to hear anything. But I think the best thing to do is take you through the interface with one channel before we start messing around with any other channels. So we'll go back here like this, and this is your note control. Now, you may have noticed also that you can set your scale type here. You can set your scale type there like that. So we'll choose and these are the scales you get there. You see, you get quite a lot of them. Well, we shall use a minor pentatonic, and we shall choose the key of F, like that. So we're going to be playing everything. Now, you only have to set this once. You don't have to set it for each of the individual channels. So, you know, it makes it easy. So all your sequences will play in F minor pentatonic sort of thing. Again, you don't need to worry about anything else unless you're using it. It does have reverb for the internal sounds. But, you know, we're not going to use the internal sounds that much in this video. We wanted to play iPad synths or hardware synths, right? So we go back to our main sequencer page here, and I can go through the whole interface with you so you explain. Okay, so fair enough. Let's just start with this. We need to turn the radius back up. Let's make a few note adjustments. Okay, so that's basically playing just channel 1. Don't forget that the other channels are turned off here. So this is just playing channel 1, and it's playing channel 1 of the radius, which is this patch here. That one. Right, okay, so now the cool thing is here, these along this edge here are scenes. Okay, so you can have all these different scenes. I think there's probably 16 of them. 16 different scenes. So if we go from this scene to this one, so you can swap between scenes anytime you like. Over here on the right hand side, this is transpose. What's that? Raw. This is transpose. So for instance, so for instance, in the center there would be our F. Is it F sharp minor we're using or F minor? Let me just check. F minor. That would be our F minor pentatonic. So if we go, sorry, we need to get to that screen in a sec. So if we go down, obviously 1, it'll be E minor pentatonic sort of thing. So anyway, you get that transpose sort of thing. So no, this sequencer works with your iPad as well. I'm going to show you that as well. It's just that it's easier for me to show you with this at the same time as having the screen open. Otherwise, but I am going to show you how it works with the iPad as well. It's dead easy. But like I said at the beginning, if you've got any CV related gear and you've got the correct gear to hook it up, this is a CV gate sequencer as well. So that's really handy to have. Right, okay, so cracking on. Let me just get through the kind of explanation of how it works. So we've covered this. These are our scenes. This is our transpose. This is our play function here. So obviously we'll start it off. We can stop it. We can have it play in reverse. You can see it ticking backwards now. So this is going to ping pong backwards and forwards. Yeah, it's really good, Andre. It's a really nice sequencer. We can have it going backwards and forwards. Or we can have it randomized. This is our resolution. Okay, now this here, if say for instance we want to miss out some of the steps. Okay, so let's play it again. If you tap on any of these, like this one, you're now missing out those steps. You might hear this better on a 16th. We switch them back on like this just by tapping them. So what I'll do is now with this first step here, like that, okay, and this second step here like this, I shall set those to be quite extreme. This is to show you the skip function. Well, actually, first I'll show you the actual the length function. So you take this all the way down like this. So now it's just playing the first two steps. And what I'll do with this, I'll put that back to something more sensible. I'll leave that on the bass, and this time I'll shove this one right up like this. So the beginning and the end of the sequence, okay, are going to be, what's this? I must not be late for, right, I'm going to so let's play this again. So it starts with a really low note and ends with the highest pitch note there in this particular thing. These buttons here, these little arrows that point forward, what they do, if they're highlighted, they don't shorten the sequence like the actual length bar here. What they do is they skip the sequence. So the easiest way to explain this is if I switch all of these on like this, bar the first and the last arrow, we'll get exactly the same effect as we did with the shortening. But then we can introduce more. Okay, so we've gone through all this. You have mute and solo. Actually, at the moment, not much point in showing you that because, you know, there's only the one channel playing. We can do that when we introduce more channels. Down an octave, down 2 octaves, up an octave, and then up 2 octaves. So that's your main page. This is where you control it. You might see the other sequences are kind of highlighted in very small colors here. So for the yellow, the red, and then that'll be where we set the red. But at the moment, the other three, because this is an initialized patch, they'll all be playing that same pattern sort of thing. So let's just quickly do this. Let's go copy like this. And let's go to a new pattern. And let's just paste. And what we've done now is pasted pattern 1 into pattern 2 as well. So now both these sounds will play the same thing. But when we could start to make adjustments with, say, for instance, the resolution and stuff like that. So if I start this off now, like this, and then I set the actual sequencer off for channel 2, I can turn the level down, the mix on this. But if I had this routed audio through as well, I could do it via AUM or something. But they're playing exactly the same thing now. So let's change that up a little bit. Or faster. So let's copy that. I don't think, I'm not sure, I haven't worked out, I'm not sure if I can actually copy scenes over. There must be a way to do that though, I would have thought. What's it? No, that clears it, so. Anyway, doesn't matter. You just set up another scene. Okay, so let's introduce the third one, and don't forget that 3 and 4 will just be pulsing as normal. So again, at this point, we could actually just copy and paste either of the previous patterns in like this, but we shall just play them as it is now and see what happens when we introduce the third one. I'll do something with the with that bass, I think I'll set an octave lower. And then on the third one, which is that kind of bell-like sound, and then the very last one we can bring in as well. And of course, they're all going to be playing the right notes because, do you know what I mean? Now, here's the solo. We can now solo any of the instruments we want, which is a good place to start for the actual other section. So moving into this section here, this is where you can control the well, all sorts of stuff. You've got probability, you have there's gate time, there's velocity, there's CV modulation. Obviously this isn't going to do anything, so let's have a look at this. Let's play gate time. And then this kind of offsets. like that. Now, if you make any adjustments here, like for instance, to the, let's set the gate time quite low for some of them, and then kind of be quite dramatic with others. We've got control over all of this, obviously, so, you know. Sorry, that's not the gate time. To reset anything you do here, you just tap this and it resets it to the master fader. So like that, and then you can bring that back up. Well, I don't want that actually. I want to show you more on this. So let's go with an initial gate time of, so it's cutting off the note quite quickly. Let's make some adjustments. This here is portmanteau. Well, if you've already sussed it, this can be really useful if you just want to do something like this. But then you can just reset it. And this is probability. That's why there's a little dice there, probability. So you can, of course, select notes for probability. We'll just reset. Okay, so if we go back to our page here, like this page, I'm going to show you some very, very cool stuff you can do now with these. So what are these? Okay, so these are like, oh, well, the easiest way to show you is to actually play it. So we'll take this one here. But it gets even better, because watch what you can do. You can select the block any way you like and join it with other blocks, and then take out, say, for instance, like we could have this. Let's put that one back on. So this kind of effect. And with this one, we can take out, let's drag them up there. We can take out some of these like this, and then have them play independently, sort of thing. So I got I really like that. That sounds really rather quite nice. So okay, let's see. Let's see, how do we hook it up with our iPad? Super simple. So let me turn the volume of the actual. Oh, for anyone who's interested, before I go any further, to set this sequence up on there is actually the MIDI channels on this is really very simple. You hit edit, and then you can't see it, but there's a button a button a little bit long at the bottom here called timbre. Hit that and then just page through until you find your MIDI settings. Where's my MIDI settings gone? Here. And you'll see that I've got 1, 2, 3, and 0G, 1G, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 MIDI channels set up. Anyway, so that's that. So we can turn the radius down. And what's cool is we can do all this at the same time. We don't need to set up different apps and stuff because it's sending MIDI information elsewhere. We can just open up the app. Now I have here BS16, and this is why I was using the radius, which makes more sense. But what we can do is start it off like this. You won't hear anything now, although it is still playing the radius. Okay, so I struck the support duct. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Truth Troll. Okay, so let's open up BS16 here, which is already open. And 1, 2, 3, 4 are the instruments that are going to be playing. So it's dead easy. So you've got like channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, and channel 4. And that's playing what the sequence on there. So to make any adjustments now, we have to keep bouncing backwards and forwards. And basically, guys, that's it. That's CV Quincy gate sequencer. It's pointless trying to get any more involved because there is nothing more to be involved with. It's dead straightforward. All you've got to do. I mean, let's try this. Let's try this. Just to give you an idea. We know that if we change this, let's change this techno bass, for instance, to a try and find a drum kit of some sort. Be there in a sec. There'll be some drum kits down here somewhere. Bum 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 bum. I bet there's a drum kit right near the top, isn't there? Yeah, standard drums. Okay. So now theoretically we should have the actual drums playing. Oh, we don't need to start. We don't need to start that. That was stupid. This. So this sequence is now playing the drums. So if we clear that now, clear pattern, yeah. Yes. All we need to do is actually, if we shorten our pattern here, shorten our sequence length down to 1, we'll be able to tell which drum is playing on our track. So if I set every 1, 2, 3, if I set this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, this one to the same key as this one. I've gone too far there. I've gone too far. And then the last one as well. If I open up the actual length of the sequencer again, so now I've taken out the tracks and we're basically left with a 4 on the floor. Now that reverb, which sounds, let's go to our velocity for this as well actually. I don't know if that's making any difference. Right, don't matter. That'll be down to this, and we can take that reverb off. Like that. So now you're just left with the actual, that's really quiet, isn't it? You want that louder really. Go messing around with all the velocity settings. Don't matter, you get the idea. Okay, so if we now start to introduce other instruments, say, like this one. I'm skipping, hang on. Sorry, that's velocity. This is gate time, innit? I'll get off that sound. We'll go back and we can then make some. Now I'm bringing back in the actual chord radius. Now you could get exactly the same effect as that with iPad synths, because you could set up the drums like to be played by whatever you want, basically, and then set other synths up to do the same thing. So if I was to set the drums on this to channel 4, then I could, like, you know, play the drums with the radius as well as the drums with the what's it. Anyway, guys, really, that's basically that more or less the whole thing. You do get a nice help. It does, like I said, it also does have. We could go nuts, look. So I'll turn the radius completely off a little bit, and then we can. So we've now turned BS16 down, and now we could start to use the internal synth if we wanted to. You've got pan controls as well. And then we could bring everything back in. You gotta love MIDI sequences for the madness, ain't you? Just awesome. I mean, you don't have to be. You could have everything really slow, just firing off every now and then. And there's If you've joined late, I did go through the whole interface and how you can really set this up to be really control lots of different aspects of the notes. Yeah, it's very cool. Guys, listen, thank you very much for joining me this evening. It was really very kind of you. Very kind. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. I hope you've had a nice day today. So, what you all been doing then? Because I've finished with the demo now. Anyway, brilliant. Thank you very much. I'll stay for a couple of minutes if you guys want to say bye to each other or say whatever you need to say and stuff. So yeah. What did you think? I mean, I know, but what do you think of the actual sequencer, the CV MIDI gatey thing? What do you think? What do you reckon? You think it's good? Before you go, give me some feedback on the app. What do you reckon on the app? Did you think it was good? I like it. I do. I think it's that easy, that easy to use. Thanks. No, just joined in. Let's look another one of those things that I will never use because it makes similar sounds to loads of other things I don't use. Yeah, well, it depends really because it's a MIDI controller, so you can make any sounds that you want, sort of things. It's really easy to use. Yeah. It does have its own very basic internal synth engine, but I've had it this evening playing the Radius and then playing VS16 at the same time and playing its own internal sequencer at the same time. So it's if you like sequences and gate sequences and stuff. Cool beans, this one's called. So, for instance, what we could do where am I sequencing from here? Oh, Blinking number 4, that's why. Anyway, and also I think part of the big thing was it as well is it will do CV and gate look see, so control voltage. So if you've got the correct kind of audio interface to do that via the lightning connector, then all your things like except CV get input like Euro rack stuff and etc. If any of you guys are into that, this will play that as well. So I think that's really great. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure how much it is. Because the dev sent me a code on the audio bus forum. I did send him a message on the audio bus forum today, telling him I was going live and if he wanted to join in, but I don't. He didn't reply, so I guess he hasn't seen it. So anyway, I'm definitely 100%, definitely 100%, definitely going now in about half an hour. No, I'm going now. Guys, thank you very, very much. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And if you haven't already struck that like, please strike it now before we go. And yeah, that's very, very. Oh, thanks, Andre. That's very kind of you, man. Seriously, I do appreciate it. The YouTube revenue tanks in January. And then it starts to pick up again later in the year, but it's just because no one wants to spend any money on advertising or anything like that. So, you know. But so very much appreciated for the super chats and the what are they called? Super chat. That's not super chat, is it? That's is it super stickers. Super stickers, and you get the little icon thingy majiggy. Okay, right. Okay, brilliant. Okie dokie. I think I shall definitely go now. Thank you very, very much for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Ta-ta. Ta-ta.